Happy Tuesday, everybody. Ending DACA. Today, the White House rescinded the Obama-era program that protected some undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children from deportation.
As you can see on the rundown on the side of your screen, this is what we're talking about tonight at 6:30. Attorney General Jeff Sessions was the one to make the big announcement today, but instead of ending DACA immediately, the White House decided to give the program a 6-month delay. Just a short time ago, this is what the president had to say.
Well, I have a great heart for the folks we're talking about, a great love for them. And people think in terms of children, but they're really young adults. I have a love for these people, and hopefully now Congress will be able to help them and do it properly. And I can tell you, in speaking to members of Congress, they want to be able to do something and do it right. And really, we have no choice. We have to be able to do something. And I think it's going to work out very well. And long term, it's going to be the right solution.
Right now, let's bring in Jessie Duff, Senior Fellow from the London Center for Policy Research. And via Skype, Brent Wilkes, CEO of the League of United Latin American Citizens. Hello to both of you.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hello. Let's start with you, Brent. No big surprise here. We had all indications over the weekend this is coming, but I get the sense of where you're coming from here.
Yeah, we're certainly disappointed in the president's decision. We think he had the authority to continue the DACA program. Certainly had a lot of time before the states would have been able to challenge that decision. And unfortunately, you know, he said he had a lot of heart, and he didn't show it today. He ended a program that's going to turn 800,000 hardworking young immigrants out on the streets without the opportunity to work legally, taking away their work permits. And we just think that's bad policy to revert somebody to undocumented status.
Jessie, let me get your take on this. Do you agree with what the White House did today?
Absolutely, I agree. And what was just said was actually false, because everybody who is already here under the DACA program will be allowed to stay. And there is a 6-month extension right now, and anybody who needs to renew that status can do it up for 2 years. Nobody's going to get deported. Nobody's going to be rushed out of here. What we're asking the Congress to do is do its job and do immigration reform. And I think everybody, even on both sides of the aisle, should be celebrating this, because an executive order isn't how we make laws in this country. Congress will make this law. And if all of these young men and women are so worthy of citizenship, then they will find a way to accommodate that. But it can't, we're not a kingdom. A president can't go in and just whitewash this and say, you're all here and we're just going to extend you.
And we should point out, you know, there were a lot of controversy over the fact that President Obama signed that executive order. He had said at the time he saw it was temporary. He was hoping Congress would do something 4 years ago. But Congress has been kicking the can down the road when it comes to immigration reform. So in 6 months, is there any hope that they're going to get together and finally come up with something that works, that's palatable to all constituencies?
Lindsey Graham already has a bill up there, and we're going to try to make something that's constitutionally accurate and fair for all of the people that are here, who came here with their parents, who are here illegally. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be blanketly approved, but that's what DACA was doing. Now we have to look at each case individually. They're going to have to set up laws that are fair to these people, and I think it's a misstatement and it's dishonest to say that all of these young people are going to be suddenly removed from their work status.
Hey,
Well, those
Brent,
6 months, geez, if somebody told me I had 6 months left in my job and I was going to get kicked out of the streets, I would not say that, oh, that's being a nice person. I'd
No,
say
that's not 6 months.
A horrible person. The fact is, these people have already gone through background checks. They've already, you know, been processed. They're in the system. They're working. They have jobs right now. There's no reason to threaten them. If President Trump wants Congress to pass the DREAM Act, great. Thanks for helping. Come to Congress with us. Let's lobby the Hill together, and let's get this passed. But you don't have to threaten the kids now.
No one.
Hey, guys, let me jump in for just a second. We know President Obama signed that. Guys, let me jump in for just 1 second. President Obama signed the executive order. He also had a statement today that he released as a result of the Trump administration rescinding it. This is part of what his statement said. This is about young people who grew up in America, kids who study in our schools, young adults who are starting their careers, patriots who pledge allegiance to our flag. These dreamers are Americans in their heart, in their minds, in every single way but one, on paper. Should this make a difference, Jessie? I mean, you know, ending this program, or, you know, why do it today?
Well, because first of all, it is unconstitutional to have the presidency impacting a law. It doesn't matter if the states were going to win this or not win this. It was unconstitutional, and all the constitutional lawyers out there know that. It is a false argument to say that in 6 months they're all being deported. That's a lie. All of them will have up to 2 years. Up to 2000, it's going to go well past 2 years, and I assure everyone out there in the American public, we have to put Americans first, because we do have laws in this country. We have 800,000 people here getting work permits. Meanwhile, we have 5 million Americans in the same age bracket that are unemployed. So let's be fair to the American citizens also. Many of these dreamers are getting student loans, and they're getting many benefits, over $6 billion in benefits with student loans. What about that for Americans? I think Congress has to treat American citizens as equally fairly because we're dreamers too.
Just to play devil's advocate, Jessie, let me jump in for a second. I mean, I guess the other side could argue and say, well, look, the people who are here who are dreamers, they're not receiving any federal benefits. They still pay taxes just like everybody else, but they're not going to get some of the federal benefits that everybody else gets.
And let's make them legal. That's why we're going to Congress.
And it's important to point out they're contributing about $466 billion to our economy over the next 10 years. We're going to wipe that away. And by the way, I am not lying. On March 6th, if your DACA permit expires on March 6th of next year, you will be removed from DACA and you'll be out of work. So this 2-year idea, some people might get it if the timing's just right. But for the vast majority of the folks, they're going to be out within 6 months.
No, well, the 6 months is also giving Congress an opportunity to write a law. And you're assuming that everybody's going to get booted out of this country. And I think that's a false assumption because Lindsey Graham's bill does not say everybody's going away.
Well, we will certainly see what Congress does if they do something. If they can. You mentioned that Lindsey Graham has the bill there, and we know John McCain has said things in the past, and Marco Rubio. We'll see what happens, though. We thank you both, Brent Wilkes, Jessie Jane Duff. Thank you both. Very highly charged topic, as you can imagine, and not going to be the last time we'll talk about it.
No, not at all. Guys, thanks so much for coming in.